Liberty Travel, in association with Donegal TV, are giving away one lucky viewer the chance to win a mystery European city break for 2 adults. To be in with a chance to win, simply like and share Donegal TV's Facebook page. Draw will take place January 2014 on Facebook. Winner must be available to arrange the short break with Liberty Travel.
Hello, I'm Andrea Gilligan and welcome to Donegal TV. Coming up in part 2 of the show, we'll be taking a fun look at Christmas with you, the people of Donegal. But first off, with Christmas just around the corner, it's important to think of those who are less fortunate. And that's exactly what Dunlow priest Father Michael McCullagh has been doing for the past 11 years with his work in Ethiopia.
The Vincentian lay missionaries, known as VLM, was founded by Father Michael McCullagh from Dunlow in 2002. Working with the Daughters of Charity in Ethiopia, VLM have sent 200 volunteers from Ireland to participate in over 20 projects focusing on education and self-sustainability. These range from developing facilities at Atsi School in Addis Ababa, working on a school for the deaf in nearby Ambo, and supporting women's aid projects in several areas of this vast land. One of their mottos is Education for All, which is reflected by the placement of students from St Paul's and Castleknock colleges in Dublin. This is deeply appreciated by fellow students in Ethiopia.
We get a lot of advantage to be with the Castleknocks and St Paul's students. We are able to talk with foreign people, especially with the Irish peoples. You know, we get a lot of knowledge that we didn't get from the regular school in Ambo. So we get how to communicate with the people with English, especially with an international teachers and students.
This year, Father Michael organised an All-Ireland Vintage Bike gathering where he and 3 colleagues from the Irish Veteran and Vintage Motorcycle Club toured Ireland to thank previous volunteers and to raise funds along the way. They set off from the church bar and restaurant in Dublin city centre, where they were waved off by Mary Kennedy from RTE's Nationwide.
Well, first of all, the money is well spent, and the thing I like about it is that it's not a huge global concern. It's one man and his group of volunteers, and he works directly with an order of nuns over there. So everybody who supports this realises every penny, every euro will be well spent. Sometimes, you know, when you're with huge organisations or with government bodies who are, you know, in good faith supporting big projects in the developing world, an awful lot of the money gets lost in administration and, you know, bits and pieces like that, and corruption. But when you have one person who is committed and who is going over there and overseeing it, you can be guaranteed that the money is well spent. So I think that exercises like this, which are on a small scale, they are not going to change the world, but if they change the life of one person, they're worthwhile. In actual fact, this has changed the lives of everybody in this community that Father Michael is supporting. So they are very important. Those are important for raising awareness, because I know things are difficult in this country at the moment, but my goodness, we don't know we're born compared to the levels of poverty that you will see in Ethiopia. They are very, very poor. They need the support of wealthier people such as us. But the nice thing is that I was back in Ethiopia last year for the first time in 7 years, and I saw huge changes, you know, with proper schools. The first time I went, children had copybooks which they had used and then erased and were using again. And now, you know, they just have more supplies. There are some educational aids in some of the schools, and that is because people are prepared to support them and to continue to support them.
They first travelled to Chic and Cheerful in Carlow, and from there on to Enniscorthy, where they were greeted by the South East Honda Club.
Yes, we formed our Honda 50 club here about late last year. I had bought a Honda 50 midsummer, and a few of the other lads, when they saw me with one, they decided they wanted one as well. So a group of about 15 of us now come together about twice a month. This is our starting point, oddly enough, right here at the Sean Kelly Memorial here, and we usually go out for about a 100-mile trip on Sundays.
Host family for the bikers at their home beside Vinegar Hill were Ronan and Sinead Lamb.
They have my wife Sinead has worked closely with Father Michael with the school in the VLM school in Atsey in Addis. She's been out there in 2007 and 2008 working out there with the school.
3 bikers accompanied Father Michael. They were Jim Moran, Gareth Fitzgerald and Jerry Feeney, who told us of the history of their club.
Just a group of Heinkel enthusiasts with scooters got together, I suppose, really from the 80s onwards. We used to meet on weekends and go for runs here, there and everywhere. And eventually we heard of the Irish Veteran and Vintage Motorcycle Club, and we approached that club. They welcomed us with open arms. About 60, 70 was joined in 1998. And we operate as a section under their umbrella. Our role here today is really to support Father McCullagh and the VLM in their endeavours to raise funds for what we feel is seriously well-run organisation, the VLM.
The group then made its way through Dungarvan and on to Coláiste na Rinne in the Waterford Gaeltacht before passing under the famous Clock Gate in Youghal in County Cork. Outside Cork City, they were greeted by the Ballincollig Vintage Car Club.
Well, I think it's outstanding, and I think more of this is badly wanted in the country, and the way things are now, the only thing we have really is our bit of fun, our vintage, and it's the enjoyment. A lot of people raise money for charity. Some do, some don't. It all depends on what the situation is. And the likes of this is what you need.
A function was held in Ballincollig that evening. The following day they passed by many familiar landmarks in Cork City before travelling onwards through Patrick's Well on their way to Limerick City. The next Gaeltacht stop was in Spiddle in Galway, and the local community were out in numbers to greet the bikers, as well as organising a fundraising table quiz in their honour that evening.
People contributed from Barna, way back along the coast road, back as far as Littermode, and there were people there last night from Throwon and Littermode, and even people from as far away as Carna. That's the first time really that the people around here heard of the Vincentian lay missionaries, and the great work that they do out in Ethiopia.
Host family in Spiddle was Sean and Barbara Howe.
Having Father Michael there last night and him speaking to the people, and him telling about his work in Ethiopia, I think everybody was delighted to give.
Especially when we announced the amount of money we collected, and Father Michael said, multiply that by 25, he said, and that's the value that'll have. It'll keep a school going for 1 year, a full year in Ethiopia. Following their visit to the Galway Gaeltacht, they travelled through Galway City and on to Knock Shrine in County Mayo, where Father McCullagh took time out to reflect. They made their way through Charlestown on their way to Sligo, where another reception awaited in the town of Strandhill.
Well, I became involved with VLM in 2008. That was my first time to go to Ethiopia, and I went to teach in a summer project of children in the city of Addis Ababa, because in Ethiopia all second level education is through English. So if the children don't pass an exam or reach a particular standard in English, they're not allowed to go into secondary school. So they're destined to a life on the streets.
Well, this is my 4th time going over to Ethiopia. I originally met Father Michael through my college. I was trained to be a primary school teacher in St. Pat's, and through there I was involved with St. Vincent de Paul Society, and then I met Father Michael through a friend, and I decided I was looking to do something like volunteering involving teaching, so I decided to go out, and since then I've just gone back each year since my first experience was so good. And I just think VLM offer a really good placement, and from going over for the past 6 years I found the development that I can see in the children is just amazing, so I really enjoy going over.
After passing by Ben Bulben and around Mullaghmore Head, it was then on to Father Michael's home county of Donegal. The bikers received a very familiar greeting in the town of Bundoran.
Sean McInniff from beautiful Bundoran, where the sun always shines. It's very important to support Father McCullagh in the work that he's carrying out in Ethiopia. and he supplies teachers out there, makes grants, builds schools, and we are very, very happy to make a donation here today to Father McCullagh, because I have great admiration for that man, and what the amount of voluntary work he puts in is absolutely unbelievable.
They then made their way to Ballyshannon, where they were greeted by Councillor Fonzie Travers.
On behalf of the people of Ballyshannon, on behalf of the Town Council, I just want to welcome them to Ballyshannon, and it's great to see him coming back here. Father Michael has made a major contribution to teaching and education in Ethiopia, and a lot of people from Donegal have gone out there, so we're very pleased to welcome him here to the parochial house in Ballyshannon, and it's great to have him here, and plus there's the three gentlemen that are with him as well.
They took the scenic route through southwest Donegal and made their way to the top of Slieve League, where they were met by fellow bikers from West Donegal. They descended from Slieve League through the beautiful Glengesh Pass and on to the village of Ardra, where another reception was laid on. Biker Gareth Fitzgerald and backup team Hazel and Arthur Maxon were delighted to be part of the tour.
Well, it was twofold in the sense that with the lads, with the scooters, I've built most of the scooters and restored them over the years, so I was here as backup for the lads and also to take part in it. Also, in the other end of it, I'm a treasurer of the Irish Vintage and Veteran Motorcycle Club, and so I basically look after the money. Any money's taken in, that you sort it out, coin it, bag it, get rid of cash, bank it, and that's basically it.
We thoroughly enjoyed it, especially the hospitality we got in each house. It was unbelievable, and the camaraderie along the line, and we've made friends, especially as us. We're in the camper van, so we now have found 5 more houses which we can call to plug in for the night, and that would be our highlight for the week, apart from meeting all the various different people along the line.
Following brief stopovers in Dunloe and Donegal Airport, the bikers were greeted at their final destination in Gweedore by many dignitaries from across County Donegal.
Ireland's gone through very difficult economic times. We never asked specifically for funds anywhere, and yet the funds came, and we'll have well over 12,000 in this week, and everything we get we multiply by 25, and it'll really benefit the people. And I suppose many times you don't like asking for money, but I just felt, well, we owe it to the children, we owe it to those we work with, and anybody who goes to Ethiopia, they'll come back and say our life will never be the same again. And I'm delighted to be surrounded by some of our young volunteers. They're gathering as we speak here. And our little motto is do one thing, do something. We'll never be a big international organisation. We live very, very simply. It costs very little to do what we're doing, but from 2002 to the present, our volunteers and our supporters themselves, and you never hear about it, have raised 500,000 euro and sent it out very, very quietly. We've also sent $500,000 out in capital grants and built schools, especially a new school for the deaf. So VLM is in the tradition of Vince Nepal. And it's about reverse mission. It's not about us going and doing great things in Ethiopia. It's about bringing the good news of Ethiopia back here to Ireland.
On November 24th last, Father Stephen Monaghan brought a small group from Ireland to see a number of VLM projects and to raise funds by participating in the Great Ethiopian Run. The work of VLM has improved the lives of many in Ethiopia, but the road to recovery for this great people has still a long distance to travel. Sean Perry reporting for Donegal TV on the All-Ireland Vintage Bike Gathering.
Join us in part 2 when we'll be having some festive fun with Conal Gallen and taking a look at some beautiful Christmas images from around the county.
Where else, just a few hours away, would you find I'm living for all these highs and lows. I'm living for all these highs and lows. I'm living for all these highs and lows. DiscoverIreland.ie/Donegal. Right here, right now.
Evolve Menswear in Letterkenny Retail Park are dedicated to providing top quality fashion to men of all ages. From young casual to the mature man, formal wear to footwear. They are also the premier wedding hire specialists in the Northwest. Spoil yourself or the man in your life this Christmas at Evolve Menswear Letterkenny, Donegal's largest menswear store.
The Clanry Hotel, the ideal place to relax and revive, perfectly located for exploring beautiful Donegal and the northwest, with 120 ensuite rooms, health and fitness centre, award-winning restaurant, and McGettigan's Irish traditional bar. Short breaks from only €89 per person sharing. Visit www.clanryhotel.com or follow us on Facebook.
Liberty Travel Letterkenny, your local travel expert, the leading independent travel agency in Donegal, fully licensed and bonded for your protection, and members of Travel Centres Ireland. Our team have vast experience and look forward to booking your next holiday. For special deals, visit libertytravel.ie.
Kelly's Toyota Letterkenny and Mount Charles, the newest, the widest range of vehicles for sale in Ireland. Visit www.kellystoyota.com or follow us on Facebook. The Silver Tassie 4-star Hotel and Spa, award-winning Irish cuisine, spa packages and organic seaweed baths, open all year round. Ulster Wedding Venue of the Year, 5 minutes from Letterkenny.
She's Lottie, she's super cute, she's Lottie, she's just like you, dress her up for a ball or a pony bag race, a festival or ballet, you can take her any place, with her pets, pretty clothes and her beautiful hair. She's Lottie, be bold, be brave, be you.
Lottie, a doll just like you. To find your nearest stockist, go to lottie.com or buy on Amazon.
Flights twice daily from Donegal to Dublin with Flybe and Donegal to Glasgow 4 days per week. Donegal Airport, serving the county. Visit donegalairport.ie.
Ground Zero 360, keeping the memory alive. Visit our website at ground0360.org and follow us on Facebook.
Conal Gallen, you're very welcome to Donegal TV at Christmas time.
Thank you very, very much, Marty. Thank you.
You're a busy man.
Very, very, very busy, and that's not a complaint.
That's not a complaint at all. Conal, we're going to head on Christmas stories. The first memory, or have you any funny stories to tell us about Christmas time and Santa? We'd love to get Santa in there.
Well, it's a wee story about the young lad, the young fella, and his father took him to the shopping centre to see Santa, and he hops up on Santa's knee, and Santa says, "Ho, ho, ho," he says, and "What can I bring you this Christmas?" And the wee lad looks up, he says, "I want a BMX bicycle." And Daddy is behind the young lad, nodding his head. So Santa, being very quick, he says, "I'm very, very sorry." He says, "I can't bring you a BMX bicycle." And the wee lad says, "Why not?" He said, well, son, he says, "I wouldn't get it down the chimney." He says, "Don't be stupid, Santa. You got a snooker table down last year."
Fantastic. Christmas time, your own fond memories of Christmas, Conal, as a young lad, when you had that excitement about Santa coming on Christmas morning. Do you remember Christmas Eve and you're writing your letter, and everybody has a fond memory? What is your first fond memory?
My first fond memory of Santa Claus, we lived in Navanny Street in Ballybuffet. And this is because we used to maybe get a gun and holster and a hat, and and I mean that was your Xbox, because that's all you needed. You could be anything after that. You know what I mean? The good guy, the bad guy. You could save the world. But my first memories are coming down, and there must have been only 3 of us in the family at the time, and our toys were on the floor, a red tile floor, and the toys were on the floor in 3 little piles, and a wee name tag on the top of it. Pat, Conal, Peggy. And even at that young age, I remember thinking, God, Santa is a beautiful handwriter. He writes very, very like my mother. So I thought all grown-ups wrote the same way. I thought Santa and my mother and everybody else had the same handwriting.
Conal, from that time in your young life to now, things has really, really got out of hand of Christmas, or?
I think that they have a wee bit. Maybe that's just a grumpy old man syndrome. But all I remember was you get a gun and a holster, or we get a rifle or whatever, and you had that and your imagination, and you got that, and you couldn't wait to get out to the street to see what all the other boys got, and just everybody had guns and holsters. Now we were the James gang. Now, by God, we're going to take over Dodge City here, and we had games and we had scenarios that now you can play. I mean, it is no fault to PS and Xboxes and that, but what really annoys me is to see young lads playing on an Xbox, playing football on a good day, and you're thinking, boys, you could have far more fun if you just got a football. Yeah. Because we used to play when I was young, but we had a garden beside the house at the end of Navanny Street, and every Saturday, 8 o'clock in the morning, that garden was full of young fellas playing football, and that game of football went on till it got dark. That football match lasted maybe 12 hours, easily. Yeah. And you were dragged in to get something to eat. and you straight out again.
Yeah, you really enjoyed every
And the only
moment of
break we had was around 5 o'clock. Everybody rushed in. My father had a bar, and he had a television in the back room. We all rushed in to see the Lone Ranger, and straight back out again.
Finished off the day.
Oh, well, I mean, football and cowboys. Maybe what more did you want?
Conal, when you leave Donegal and you head down south, and you've done that many times, and you've been to the UK with some of your tours as well, what does it mean to come back to Donegal? Balbafay is your home territory, but when you come back into Donegal and you're driving with your crew, what does that mean to you? Is it a different feeling to audiences nationwide?
Oh, it is. It's not a different thing. I love home. I mean, I love. I had the opportunity several times to move, and I maybe I might have done better had I moved to America, but I never wanted to. I love America, and I love England, I love Scotland, but I love where I live. I left this morning. I left. There was 3 deer walking across the front. I have a bit of land at the front of the house. There was 3 deer walking across there. They don't mind. They're wild deer. I mean, where would you get that? I was looking at it before I left. It's just absolutely fantastic. I mean, I suppose my father always said, God rest him, he says you'll always go anywhere with a Donegal accent because it's the most easily understood accent in the world and everybody loves it. And he was right.
Yeah,
he was absolutely right.
It's very warming to hear that, and especially at Christmas
time.
Yeah. Did you see the tree? What do you
it's
think
beautiful,
of the tree?
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I know you've been up all night sorting this out. I'll tell you, talk about the accent. I'll tell you a wee story. I was in New York. It was many years ago. And I used to work and play in bars in New York. And I remember playing in a bar up in the Bronx, the Sam Maguire, owned by the Malloys of Gaelic football fame, yes. Blanty and them. And it used to be on late. I mean, you'd start at 12 o'clock at night and do 4 shifts. It was zombie time, But I was on one night, and because you were in a lot of Americans, and you might have maybe refined your accent a wee bit, and of course you always had to talk American. You had to say garbage instead of rubbish, and an elevator instead of lift. So it had all the Americanisms, And so I probably sounded American when I'm on the stage, and who walked right across in front of the stage? Charlie Collins.
No way.
And I'm thinking, Charlie's up there now, thinking, this guy gets away from home and he changes into an American accent. So I made a point after going down to say, Charlie, I'm not normally like this. But it was just needs must at the time,
Yeah. And what about the States, Con? Your shows? Any interest in heading across the States with this particular show that you're a bit on the side? Is it any advancing, maybe heading to?
Well, I tell you, it's sort of out there on the horizon. But at the moment, the play we originally wrote the play, and the plan was to do 31 shows, finishing 5 or 6 days ago in Virginia and Cavan, and that was always the plan. And then extra shows got added in, and I was to go back to do my stand-up for the spring. The play is now going to run until the end of May next year.
Really? Yeah. You smooth-talking devil, you. Oh, lovely. And I've been to the hairdressers. Must have been shut. Sorry? Oh, I was just saying it's a beautiful cut. Oh, thank you. Oh, I've noticed on the way in, your grass has got very long. Yes, it has, hasn't it? Yes. I'm thinking I might get the lawnmower out later on, yes. All right. Have you a ride on? I hope so, but I might cut the grass first.
The play is serious crack. I've got 3 great actors along with me, absolutely great actors. Kitty Bradley, Paddy McMenamin and Jack Quinlan. I mean, and you step on stage and you never have to worry about any of the 3 of them. Every one of them can step up to the mark. And
Harry and Dick. Dick and Harry. In the same bit.
And Colin, you've known them guys for a long time, and the talent that
I've worked with every one of them on different shows over the years. And we actually, about 2 months ago, we were talking, we discovered we were actually all in the same show. The opening show of the Ballard Theatre, the Ballard Arts Centre, was a brilliant play called The Shockron, and the 4 of us were in it. So now we're all together again and touring. I'd love to take the play to the States.
So anybody's watching this in America,
yeah,
you've heard me asking the question, when is he going to the States?
Well, hopefully.
So someone out in America make the phone call, and Conal Gallen could be landing on your doorstep.
I'm pulling up here. Well, I gave up sex for Lent. What, this year? No, it was 4 years ago. I only noticed on Tuesday. Well, Mrs. Murphy, do you know what I say? What? Sex. Sex is like playing cards. If you don't have a good partner, you better have a good hand.
Myself and Rory sat down to, it was a great idea because we'd written the play. We thought, what about writing a song called A Bit on the Side as a promotional thing for the play? And we sat down to write a song called A Bit on the Side, and we ended up with a song called I Couldn't Give a Continental. And that's which we now use as the music for the play. It's called I Couldn't Give a Continental. So, and we never got the song written A Bit on the Side. We have verses and stuff, but never got it finished. So where does it come from? You sit down to do something and you go off on a different tangent altogether.
I couldn't give a continental. I'm happy just the way I am. I live each day, come one day. I don't care what people say. I ain't got time for bad times, but I'm not that kind of man. I couldn't give a continental. I'm happy just the way I am. I couldn't give a continental. I'm happy just the way I am.
Conal Gallen here, wishing everybody a very, very, very happy Christmas.
Hi, I'm Derek Ryan, and I'd love to wish all the Donegal viewers at home and abroad a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hello, Donegal TV. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
I'm Lisa McHugh, and I'd love to take this opportunity to wish you all a very, very happy Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Hiya folks, Nathan Cart here, wishing you all a very Merry Christmas. Stay tuned to Donegal TV.
And what a beautiful place County Donegal is, whatever the season. Well, from all of us here at Donegal TV, we thank you for watching and we wish you all a very happy and peaceful Christmas.